welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Rate The Transfer Rumour video. Yes, that's right. This is the video that rates the transfer rumour. Guess who's back again? It's Daz, and he's going to... What are you going to do, Daz?
Rate the transfer rumour.
You are, yeah. On a scale between 1 and 10, obviously 1 unlikely, 10 very likely. We'll start off with Alex Moody, young goalkeeper at Wexford. Got to be a promise, this fella. Did very well last year in goal for Wexford. Rated highly. Guess who he's linked to? Bray Wanderers. Ian Ryan. He's going to take every single Wexford player with him, Daz, and Alex Moody's the latest.
Look, it's the way it's going to go. I think I was talking to someone there recently, and I was saying he reminds me of managers that like to bring their own players back to, the ones that they trust to know. And obviously, he's a good young keeper, and he wants to bring his best players that he's worked with before. So, again, look, I'm going to have to write this one high key. Like, why would he not go there? He's going to a manager he knows and likes. He's going to a club that's in a better position than Wexford. He's going to a club that's going to pay him money if he can get there, because he's obviously very young. I don't know what his situation is with
20 years of age, yeah.
Yeah, well, if he has a lift and all that there, because that comes into play with these young players from the likes of Wexford and all that too. Funny enough, it does. But look, you'd have to put this one high. I'd probably put it at a 7. Like, why would he not go there, bar and stay at Wexford for another season to play?
Especially when Ian Ryan gets on well with a lot of young players, and he's known, like, he comes from that UCD school, literally that background, so he works very well with young players and seems to get the best out of them. So it could be a progressive move really for Alex, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Like, if he could get into that Bray team and start playing every week, he's playing well, much better players, a better defence, a chance to get more results, chance to be near in the playoffs. It could be a great move for him or any player coming up in Division 1.
7 out of 10 for that one, yeah?
7 out of 10, Heath.
7 out of 10. So the next one up is Dylan Duffy to Dundalk, another UCD player linked with Dundalk. And Dylan, he missed the last couple of weeks of the season through injury, but he was very good for UCD last year. We talked about how Kerrigan and Whelan done well earlier on in the year, but the attacking players, Lonergan and Duffy, were very good. He was obviously at Shamrock Rovers before, still 19, I think, as well. But he's got good attacking threat, has a good left foot, good right foot, can hit from distance as well. Linked with Dundalk, would he be an addition to Stephen O'Donnell's side?
I think he would certainly be an addition, all right. But the fact that he's so young, still in his degree, playing every week with UCD, I can see him not really wanting to move just yet to Dundalk. Obviously, Dundalk, again, are in Europe, are in a great position in the league, or probably will be for the next how many years.
They'll want to strengthen their squad, won't they?
UCD will struggle next season again. They will be down in the dumps again. They'll be in the back foot of most games. It's just where they're at the minute. It's no disrespect to them, but I think he might stay. He's going to play every week at UCD. He's going to develop more as a footballer, and he's doing his education. All that would have to be looked at if he was going to go and move. The fact that he's that bit young as well, 19, he's still a late teenager. I don't really see him moving, personally. Obviously, he could. European football, who wouldn't want that? Like, has a chance to do that.
And money, being paid.
Move back. Be paid, it'd be very difficult to turn it down. But for me, at the minute, I'll put that at 5. I just don't really see that one coming to fruition, really, at the minute.
Interesting stuff. We've got Phoenix Patterson from Waterford FC to Fleetwood, and of course we've got the Fleetwood Waterford links with Andy Piley at the club there, the owner. Patterson scored 22 goals in all competitions last year. None of them are penalties, by the way. A couple of free kicks, but to score 22 goals from the wing and not be a penalty taker is crazy. He's got a bit of quality about him, hasn't he, Phoenix Patterson? Could he do a job at Fleetwood? Do you think that's likely, or will he stay at Waterford for another year? Do you think he's still under contract, by the way, so they'd have to pay a fee? But I'm sure Fleetwood wouldn't mind paying the fee, considering their owner is basically the same owner at both clubs.
Yeah, I'd say the transfer fee involved would be like £0 written on the contract, because obviously the owner owns both clubs. Look, I think he'd be
fair. To be honest, I think he'd be fair. I think he'd be fair because he wants money to go into Waterford as well, and Waterford to do well. He's very committed to that. So I think he would be fair, you know what I mean, in that sense.
Yeah, true. Like, he probably would be. He'd probably give them some sort of reimbursement for his services. Again, for Waterford, look, it's terrible losing your best player. You're not going to replace him. It's just not going to happen. It's one of these players, once it's out of the league, he's gone. He's not replaceable. It's gone. But I could see this one being likely. Obviously, Fleetwood is a big jump up in the English divisions to where Division 1 is at in Ireland. You're not going to be playing against the likes of Wexford. You're not going to be playing against, disrespect from Athlone over where he's going to be going. So I would not be expecting 20 plus goals from him if he went to Fleetwood. So the fact that it's such a huge, big jump, I wouldn't put it too lightly. I'd put maybe at a 6. I do understand that he's at trial at Fleetwood at the minute. So if that was to go well, obviously that's going to play in factor. The fact that they have the benefit of bringing him in and seeing what he's like, it obviously gives them a chance to look at him. I put it as 6. There's obviously something in it. The fact that he's on trial, if it goes well, he will move. That's the thing. But at the minute, I'd put it as a 6. It's a huge big jump up. Obviously, it's a crazy amount of goals in the wings, no penalties. But again, you're going to a professional league in England. Division 1 is not professional and has amateur teams in it. And next year has 2 amateur teams in it. So you have to look at it that way, I think, as well.
Absolutely. So 6 out of 10 for that one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Barry Cotter, finally, Shamrock Rovers to St. Patrick's Athletic. Of course, he was on loan at Pats last season. Was brilliant when he came in on loan. Seemed to have a rapport with the Pats fans, seemed very happy, when a player's happy on the pitch, etc. But he is under contract at Shamrock Rovers. However, it seems that it's unlikely he'll continue at Shamrock Rovers. So you would think there'd be a decent chance he might sign for St. Patrick's Athletic.
Look, all the signs are pointing towards that he would sign for St. Pat's. Look, he absolutely destroyed balls each time he played against us. What a player. Like, he scored some unbelievable goals. 1-on-1s. Like, he actually carried the team through and scored his own goals by himself. No one closed him down.
And he's a full-back, technically. Wing-back, but really, yeah.
He's one of my favourite players in the league. I actually think he's quite an underrated player in the league. I think he's someone that a lot of us kind of forget about, but don't really think too much of. I think he's a really top player. And like, I'd put this one at an 8 out of 10, Keith. Why would he not want to go to?
Yeah.
No. Obviously, the only thing in the way is the contracts. But as you said, the fans love him over there. He's playing week in, week out. He's playing really well week in, week out. But then again, when you think about it, Shamrock Rovers have lost Andy Lyons. Will they be looking at him to fill in that gap? Because he's ready-made to go in there. If I was Rovers, I wouldn't want to lose them. I'd be on the keep and say, no, you're going to fill up Andy Lyons' role now. I know it's the other side, but Andy Lyons was right back and he ended up playing left wing back. So why would you want him to go? They're going to have to replace Andy Lyons. So they're going to be looking at someone to bring in and have Barry Cotter. So I wouldn't want him to go over as Pats or Rovers.
I suppose it depends on the player as well, whether you insist he doesn't want to stay there. If he doesn't want to stay there, you don't want to keep him, do you, I suppose?
No, exactly. So that might be what will get him to move. I think is likely to happen, but I do think Rovers will want to keep him.
Interesting stuff. Let us know, guys, what you think in the comments. If you're Shells, Dundalk, Pats, Fleetwood even, Waterford, who else, UCD, Wexford Bray fan. Let us know what you think of all those transfers. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new and hit your bell notification button. Thanks again, Daz. Brilliant stuff.
Cheers, Keith.